What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about ChargePoint. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what is really moving it, and whether right now is a good time to buy or not. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So ChargePoint is down 3.2%, new 52-week and all-time low of $1.21. Today is not that great for ChargePoint nor the broader market. NASDAQ is down 2.43, S&P down 1.6, Dow is down 0.57. So it's just a massive bloodbath. And a lot of that is stemming now from companies unveiling their earnings, plus a lot of the data points. So today we did have PCE, came in line with expectations, but yesterday's GDP and also the JOLT report on Tuesday, that was not good. So possibly data coming out tomorrow might be the saving grace. So you have non-farm payroll, unemployment rate, and ISM manufacturing. But I think just the fear is really set in right now. And in my opinion, only companies giving good future guidance right now is kind of standing any chance of surviving. And ChargePoint, regrettably, their last earnings from September was rather bad. So I think as of right now, investors are looking at ChargePoint as like, why should anyone buy it? You should always ask yourself that question. Why should someone buy ChargePoint? Even the news that did come out essentially yesterday on October the 30th, it's good. I would more lean it towards fluff rather than anything. So I think this is ChargePoint's way of really just passing the buck onto independent individuals who want to own these charging stations. And it gives them a little bit more of a piece of the pie ultimately. But I think this is just very, very big fluff and ultimately can be seen as ChargePoint's kind of last ditch effort. And it is really unfortunate because ChargePoint almost a year ago did state that they have a big new piece of technology that is coming out in Q4. But last several earnings, they have not talked on that whatsoever. So I think that just went poof away. So like I said, people are seeing ChargePoint as, why should we buy this right now? And it is getting very close to that $1 mark. So of course, whenever a stock is below that $1, this is where they get into reverse stock split territory and everything else. But even for ChargePoint's upcoming December earnings, I know it's a little bit early to kind of talk on that, but earnings per share is -9 cents, revenue 101.49 million, and over the last 90 days, 0 positive, 7 negative revisions to the earnings per share. And just generally looking over here, analysts, they see profitability for the most part October 20 or Q3 2027 for the most part right here. So I think people would have to be kind of holding on to the edge of their seat for the most part up until there, where you see some substantial gains. And unfortunately, as well with ChargePoint, you're seeing somewhat lowish volume. So 7.24 million for volume right now, 9.8 is the average. And any stock that does have low volume, such as this, and is heavily shorted, that's kind of a recipe for disaster, because right now even there's about 310,000 shares being increased by shorts. So shorts are kind of taking advantage of just the blood in the market. And even looking at what shorts have been doing, they haven't really been doing all that much. If anything, they've been returning. So short interest was September 16th, roughly around 33%. So yeah, it's gone down a little bit, but still 28.87% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 114.92 million shares. Cost to borrow average is 14.28 and utilization is 99.44. So yes, it is very heavily shorted, but I don't see it being a squeeze play, because in order for a squeeze to occur, you need a surprise catalyst, and I don't think ChargePoint has any of that. Even potentially if Trump is to win the elections in a week or so, which I think that's kind of the consensus, not to get political or anything, I think that is going to be very bad for ChargePoint and just the whole EV sector. So I think that's kind of being priced in a little bit right now on the side note. But looking at options, very low volume as well for this. So dollar value, so 38,000 in calls, 17,000 in puts. 51% of all the options being done are optimistic and bullish. But with shorts increasing, it is fair to assume that shorts are hedging. So it does limit itself as far as a squeeze. Of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $1.50 mark. And then looking at puts, not much volume ultimately. So No matter what though, options is just merely a sentiment. It does not move the stock price one bit. But this, on the other hand, does move the market. And this is a wall of nothing. So no transactions above $100,000 on the secondary market over the last 90 days. So big money just doesn't want anything to do with ChargePoint. Dark pool is a little bit more active. So dark pool is linked to shorting, more common than not. So there was one transaction being done today for 128,000. Regrettably, you can't really see whether it's a buy or sell based on just obviously it being in the dark pool. But yeah, I think ChargePoint is poised for it to continue to trend down, regrettably. But like I said, is right now a good time to buy, because you could see a little bit more of a value run sometimes. I think it's going to follow the technicals. So right now with it at $1.22, it is trading between this S2 and this S1. So 109 will be a strong support. 125 is going to be the next strong resistance / target. So it is kind of getting coded as a damaged stock as per Wall Street, because any stock trading within this range, anywhere from the S3 to the S1 right now, is, like I said, just relatively damaged. But popping over to IBKR, I have the ALMA, 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages, super trend, stochastic RSI, and MACD. So in reality, there isn't anything optimistic. The only thing that could be spun as a positive is it is oversold. That's kind of the only thing. Other than that, everything shows more of a further breakdown. Even the Elliott Wave Technicals has a pivot point of $1.18. So for as long as ChargePoint is below that, then it is anticipated to get between that 106 and 98 cent mark. So in my opinion, I think that this would be a good buying opportunity between that 98 and $1.06, similar to kind of what happened with Polestar. I don't know if a lot of you do follow that as well, but they got hit massively to the point, I think it was like 70 cents, where it is a screaming buying opportunity. You cannot ignore it at that stage. I think in reality, ChargePoint's kind of scenario equal buy now moment would be between this point right here. Most likely will be occurring probably tail end of Q4 in my opinion, unless things really do escalate. But these are the latest analyst ratings. There was one that did come out yesterday, $2 hold rating maintained by 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧. Stefan, who has a 39% success rating, so that's kind of comical. Aside from that though, $2.41 is that consensus of all the ratings right here, and that does represent a 98.35% upside. And then just to give you a final overview, the latest Morningstar report does show the fair market value just based on the assets being $1.25. So it is kind of below even the fair value for just what Morningstar is stating. So you can kind of factor that into everything. But like I said, I think just given the trajectory of everything, it is going to hit that $1 range, but most likely kind of bounce off of that and trend higher. So in my opinion, I think that's kind of the time to buy. My crystal ball is sometimes wrong though, so no matter what, you do your own due diligence at the end of the day. A couple of things I do want to share with you if you want all this information to be completely free. So ownership, ratings, everything under the sun, take a look at IBKR for all that to be completely free. And then aside from that, take advantage of this promo, because this promo gives you 8 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So take advantage of this deal because free is amazing as well. And then one final thing, I did launch memberships through this YouTube channel, and if you're looking for buy signals on stocks and options, then definitely take a look at that. Been having some very, very good results based on that. And also, if you just want to support the channel, you can definitely join as a member for that as well. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.